Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagan Sadrisham Tattvamasyavi Lakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguణarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Om. Guru is Brahman, the giver of supreme bliss, embodiment of pure consciousness, one without a second, vast as the ether, infinite, eternal, beyond the three gunas and their modifications, the supreme precept. Sthiti Prakarana, and section 21 continues. Sri Rama asked, O sage, how did mentation, implying mental mind and all its functions, how did mentation arise in Brahman? Listening to all the philosophy and reflecting upon the complex situations presented in daily life, the mind asks a simple question. What bothered Brahman? He was alone, he was happy. He is absolute, he is full. Why did he fool himself? And he started creating the world. That type of question seems quite rational. But simple illustration. You experience in your dream the whole world. You went to bed. You were alone. Why did you create all that? You became the creator, the sustainer, and the solution of your dream world. And when all that finishes, the revelation, nothing really happened. Even there wasn't any rope there. It was all illusion. So therefore, mind should not work in that direction of why did Brahman create. Instead, how can I be free of the dream world? How can I wake up? After I wake up, then ask why did the dream come? But don't until then. Don't ask until then. Because any answer you get in your dream state is a defective answer. Sri Rama asked, O sage, how did mentation arise in Brahman, who is beyond time, space, and causation, who is eternal, infinite, and immutable? These terms, they are presented to you again and again, so that your mind can work upon these. These are the inspiring your mind to turn towards Brahman. And what are those terminologies? Eternal. Nitya. Nitya means that which never changes. This. Think of weather conditions go on changing, clouds come in different ways, and different illuminations appear. And all that take place in the sky. The sky is eternally free, ever untouched. All that happens in the sky, but the sky has never gone into any change. And the sky has not gone through even a slightest torture, not a single stroke of pain, not a single scratch appears in the sky. Don't believe it, try it. Deep down you are like the sky. How many things have gone on, and yet you find yourself brisk and ready to face many things. If all those were there in your heart, like a vital scratches, injuries, he will become, as time passes by, increasingly helpless. I'm talking in a different level, not physical helpless. But the soul continues. It gives up one body, gets into another. Soul's movement is not marred by adversities and adversities that have gone on through many lives. Not a single scratch. Soul moves on to discover its own identity. Simple message. Things are very painful to you today. With the passage of time, just in few days, things they never existed. The mind is busy with many wonderful things. So that's how the world process is experienced through the magic of the mind. So that Brahman is eternal, infinite. Infinite implies no matter whatever that arises out of Brahman is infinity. Because nothing but infinity can arise out of infinity. Infinity plus infinity is infinity. Infinity minus infinity is infinity. Infinity divided by infinity is infinity. Apply all your mathematics. And infinity remains unshaken and immutable. Mutation means milk becomes yogurt. That's mutation. Brahman doesn't go through mutation. Brahman didn't become the world of matter. No changes occur in absolute self. Looking at another way, sun goes on creating so many illuminations. Every reflected sun has lots of story to tell. But to the reflected sun, there is a world of constant mutation, constant change, constant modification. To the sun is not so. I'm using allegorical language. Similarly, the self in you remains just the same. The problem is how you experience the self through your mind. So the problem creator is the mind. Similarly, the self in you remains just the same. The problem is how you experience the self through your mind. So the problem creator is the mind. The existence of impurity that gives rise to the mental process is experienced by the ignorant, qualified by mental process. It is the self that sees through the eyes, hears through the ears, thinks through the mind, and performs actions through the organs of action. What we are being given that Brahman does not have any mind, mindless. But ignorant souls, jivas, people who are ignorant, individual who is ignorant, for that ignorant individual, this whole world process appears to exist. So many people sleeping in the same hall, and each one entering into his own big dream world. All the dream worlds, they are not realities. Hall is just the hall. Qualified by the mental process. It is the self that sees through the eyes, hears through the ears, etc., etc. In other words, mind, self becomes, soul begins to operate through the mind. And mind has three modes. First stage of mind that you work with when you advance on your sadhana, called mala. Second type is called Vikshepa, distraction. Third type is called Avarana, veiling. A simple way to understand, to use this simile of seeing your face in a mirror. It is the mind that will lead you to liberation. But how you see your face in your mind, that's the big secret of your liberation. And just as a mirror presents three stages, you have a mirror in your hand, but mirror is not clean. It has some dust over it. Now what you see through the dusty mirror is a strange refraction of your face. Nose should be in one place. It breaks into 3 or 4 places. Face gets scattered. You can't figure out, are you a caterpillar? Or what are you? I'm joking, but the idea to understand. Led by mala, vast majority of people do not have the idea what dignity and integrity lies within their personality. Malak has completely dumped your vision of your own self. You are defining yourself on the basis of others. Do you recognize me? I'm great. If you don't, then we have a problem. Face gets scattered. Can't figure out, are you a caterpillar? Or what are you? I'm joking, but the idea to understand. Led by mala, vast majority of people do not have the idea what dignity and integrity lies within their personality. Malak has completely dumped your vision of your own self. You are defining yourself on the basis of others. Do you recognize me? I'm great. If you don't, then we have a problem. So that's led by mala. You are always dependent upon others to tell you whether you are good or not. I'm just giving simple illustrations. But when mala is not there, or as you start removing mala, mala means perverted desires, kama, anger, krodha, lobha, greed, moha, delusion, mada, pride, matsarya, jealousy. These are 6 important points regarding mala. If you find 7 and 8, don't be confused. All malas, all impurities come under these 6. That's why in Christianity, Satan is characterized by 666. These 6 malas operating through your thoughts. That's one set of 6. 6 malas operating through your words. Next set. 6 malas operating in your practical life. 666. And it is written there upon the head. So, mala, besmeared mirror of mind, led by this mala, the gross impurity, everyone experiences the world, all details, things that you see. You're not seeing things the way you should have seen in a healthy way. You miss so many sensitive things of this world. You begin to pass by. The squirrel raises its head, say good morning. I'm joking. I don't care. The idea is that the world is filled with glory of God, internally and externally. Your own body is a miracle of God's creation. Externally, everything around you, all is divine. Siya Ram Mai, Sab Jag Jani. The world is nothing but Sita and Ram. If that is so, mind should be so joyous. That's the ideal. But why it is not joyous? Mala. So therefore, be patient. Continue your karma yoga. And do not measure your success on the basis of achieving things led by anger. If your might makes things right, it's not right at all. It appears right, but it's not right. So therefore, continue with patience and come to that stage of discovery that not the might, but your loving heart. It is humility that makes you shine like the rising sun or the full moon. You go viral. But on the basis of humility, heart that is full of love. So mala must be sublimated. But as you continue removing mala, sublimating it, now you are encountering another. The mirror in which dust has been removed or being removed. And now you are discovering yourself, your face, which you have not seen before. I'm talking about old times where, I'm joking. In other words, as long as you live with mala, you never know your real face. The real face is a mirror of image of God. Without going to details, when you begin to see such a big change, your hand moves this way, hand moves that way, you begin to figure out, is this real? But in doing so, you are shaking the mirror in this way and that way. That shaking state of the mirror called Vikshepa, distractions. And when distractions are overcome by meditation and devotion, upasana, karma and upasana, rather dhyana and upasana, meditation and devotion. When Vikshepa begins to move away, now you are having revelation of who you are. But during that stage, only one obstacle remains with you. Your hair comes streaming down. A veil stays before your eyes. But that veil is not a strong obstacle. It just requires your affirmation. This is not the hair. I am. Check the hair. The revelation realization I am. In that level is just a matter of switching the angle. All that you are experiencing, they are in the realm of consciousness. All the illuminations you are seeing, they are in the realm of earthly limitation. The sun is ever the same. So Avarana is just to understand that there is no difference between the sun and all its illumination. And all the illuminations are not realities. Avarana is like, to give you another way to understand. You look up to the sky, and what do you see? Blue veil. That blue is like Avarana. It doesn't have any reality, but it simply shows the limit of your vision, how far your vision can go. And beyond that, everything becomes just a mystified blue sky. Blue sky, therefore, is not your problem. When you do sadhana, suppose I have make a trip going into outer space. But how can I pierce through the sky? The question doesn't arise. The sky seems to be a reality for you. As you begin to fly, the sky also goes on flying higher and higher. So that's the role of Avarana. Avarana does not have any substance. All that you need to do is to blossom. And Avarana is removed by jnana. Yoga has 3 stages. Karma yoga. Upasana, which has 2 aspects. Bhakti yoga, path of devotion, yoga of devotion. And dhyana yoga, yoga of meditation. And jnana yoga, yoga of intuitive revelation. All these 4 we have explained, they go together in your personality. In daily life, if you are practicing yoga in a profound way, then all these 4 begin to operate. You learn the art of doing your duties well. And while along with it, you also learn the art of focusing the mind. And focusing the mind with love of God. And then the art of revelation. Who am I? Action, emotion, will and reason. There are 4 aspects of your personality. And they must be well harmonized for you to enjoy your life with purpose and with fullness. If that is maintained, the practice of integral yoga in life, then moksha is, liberation is your destiny. Figurative language. With liberation you are bound to attain. Liberation is not an object, it is a revelation of the truth. It is the impure mind that gives rise to different views about the world and about the ultimate goal to be realized through life. Every individual has different views, even with philosophy, even with Vedanta, even with Advaita Vedanta. The different views have 2 aspects. If you are on the spiritual path, your movement is like a spiral movement. From one spiral, go to another, until you reach the end. In each spiral, your concept, your view about mind, your view about japa, your view about satsanga, first layer, first stage, how you viewed. The view changes as you advance, going to another spiral. Now we will be giving a different way of looking at. You are not giving up your first stage of view. First stage of view is supplemented and more fulfilled. And that's the way you go on developing more and more. So no matter whatever view you have now, that's not pakka, that's not perfect. Keep your heart open to it. Because spirituality is not controlled by verbosity. It is a matter of experience. The same term you say, bliss. A little ice cream gave you bliss. Now as you advance, you begin to interpret bliss in a different way. And if you become a spiritual aspirant, then you have a deeper question. Where is really bliss? Can it come from objects? So you begin to understand, and along with it, there is a greater and greater gratification. When the mind is rendered pure, it reveals the one truth, that Brahman or Absolute alone exists. Objects in themselves are deprived of the qualities that are seen through the instrumentality of human senses. Sugar cane is sweet, chili is hot. Well, ask the sugar cane. It doesn't do that. And ask the chili, why are you hot? Chili doesn't know that. Better still, same thing which is tasty to human tongue is not tasty to animal tongue. See the difference between what you eat and what your pets eat. You have the best of things to eat. Give to your pet. Turns his head away. And shows to you, look, this is what I eat. Share it. I'm joking. Think of countless animals. For them, the world has different dimensions. Camels eat up thorny bushes. All the thorns melt in the mouth of the camel and give the camel a kind of a ticklish sensation. And camels says, what a day, he made the day by chewing upon these thorns. And you don't have to go far and wide. Even in a family where there are 6 or 7 people together, each one has a different taste. You work hard and make the best dish. The other one asks, where is the fish? Led by repeated thoughts pertaining to the fictitious values of objects, even petty objects become important. Any idea may be very petty. You complain against something. The complaint is very petty. It is going to pass away without your effort. But you forget about all your duties and just thinking of that little complaint. Sat, did meditation for 3 hours. Chit-chatted about the complaint with so many people. Now that complaint, which was just a tiny bit, has become something so powerful that all other duties that you have to do shut out of your view. You are fooled by your own foxy mind. So even petty objects become very important. And important objects become just tiny bit. Important object is your mental serenity, your love of God, your being able to radiate joyousness. Those things are important. And this is given in the Gita, dhyayato vishayan punsa sangasteshu pajayate. You begin to think of an object. Sometimes in the beginning just comes a little tiny idea. But when the imagination goes on building upon it, it becomes your strong desire. If it is strong desire, if you get the object, you become elated. Don't get it, you become sunk in sorrow. Both ways you are not gaining mental peace. You are elated, mind is highly agitated. And if you are depressed, mind is not in its healthy condition. So therefore, now whatever follows is bringing you more and more trouble. That's the picture of Vishaya Chintan, trying to be happy on the basis of material objects, objects of pleasure. The impure mind abounds with desires and longings based on ignorance. O Rama, aspire for attaining that which is not petty, free from afflictions and devoid of all illusions, what the Upanishad calls it bhuma and alpam. All that mind wants is alpam, little. So your mind has very vast range of imagination. You cannot imagine the vastness. The capacity of your mind to imagine is beyond your own imagination. But whatsoever you are imagining, all the power, all the glory, all the success, imagine someone were to suddenly appear a deity and say, prepare today all that you want, and tomorrow I'm going to give you the broom. Give you a chance so that you can have all, you don't miss anything. Now put yourself in that situation, preparing all that you want. And end result, it is nothing. It's alpam. It's like you have gathered all illuminations of the sun. And it is the sun god who has come to you, ask anything, I will give you. And you gather all the illuminations, a big ball and a massive balloon. And the sun god smiles, you want that? Have it. What's the resolution? I want you, the sun, not all these. That's called bhuma. Want, attain the source, the reality behind all, which means self-realization. Who am I? That's called bhuma. Want, attain the source, the reality behind all, which means self-realization. Who am I? Let me realize the I am. And that I am is Brahman. I am the Absolute. Instead, going after all things that you can grasp on the basis of your senses, on the basis of your conditioned mind, on the basis of your mental complexes, all that you can grasp and put them all together, that's not satisfaction. Firstly, it is like asking all the mirages put together will not create even one pond of water. Mirages are not, they appear watery, but there is no water in it. Objects of the world appear to give you happiness. They appear. But the idea they are giving you happiness is coming from your own misunderstanding. So if you collect all the objects that give you happiness, it will be a ridiculous situation. In the process of collecting, you will collect your own pranas and run away. There isn't any object, however illusory it may be, that does not become real for an unenlightened mind. In other words, no matter how ridiculous, but your mind has gone on giving value to it. Each time you come out and a branch shakes, your mind builds up. There is a ghost up there. Ask anybody else, it's ridiculous. Just a tree and a branch. Suppose I'm talking, illustrating a dull-wit mind. Support your idea of your own self. How I see it, that's what counts. I see a ghost, and these people are blind. And what will happen? A miracle will happen. Each time you go there, you will find the ghost gradually becoming more real. Suddenly you see a finger arise. Another day, you see the face with two horns. Another day, you see the teeth coming out. Because that's the mystery of negative thinking. You allow the negative process of mind. First day, the negative brought a little disturbing situation. Next day, it became a little more. Next day, everything is wonderful. But something is lacking. There is boredom. In other words, mind can grip you in such a way that you're, in spite of whatever there is there in the world, you continue to follow the habit, the intensification of illusion that you have generated in yourself, you continue to follow. No matter however illusory it may be, it becomes real. O Rama, it is impossible for a crystal to negate reflections in it made by surrounding objects because it is inner. But it is possible for your consciousness to negate the reflections of the world that arise in it. This is a profound insight that you are looking at the world, and what frightens you is reflections, shadows. You don't realize those shadows are your own shadow, because whatever object you are going after by your own vasana. Your mind, subtle desires of your mind covers the object. Now the object is as if polished by your own substance. And now when you look at the object and it looks so wonderful, what happens? The polished object is bringing a reflection of yourself. Could figure that out, match up. A riddle type of a statement. So every object is dear to you basically because you are finding your own self reflecting in that object. And your self is reflecting in such a way, reflections don't follow any precision or any logic. Sometimes you find there are many illuminations around you when you are walking. One reflection has gone that way, your another reflection is that way, third reflection is behind you. And if you lose your mental balance, say, look, so many nishacharas, so many demons are following me. And all those demons are you, your own reflection. That's a certain point behind it. All human problems are reflections of your own misconceived identity. Let your mind be like a crystal that reflects the moods and objects of the world, but maintain the awareness of your essential nature and remain detached from these reflections. The idea is a crystal becomes colored by any object you put a rose and crystal becomes rosy. But no matter how rosy it becomes, when the rose moves away and you put a yellow flower, crystal becomes yellow. It's ready to match up with any color. In itself, it has no color. That's the state of Asanga. Self-discovering, I am detached. I am like the sky. So whatever thing comes seems real in the sky. Moves away, the sky is also just the same. It didn't have any change. More in a practical way, mind should become, purity of mind is described with the illustration of crystal. Mind handles various things. But when it is handling various things, when the crystal is handling a rose bush, rose flower, it becomes very red. Not very red, completely red. You don't see the crystal, you see only the rose. But situation changes, and the rose, the crystal does not object to rose moving away. And another color comes in and the crystal is ready to take the whole thing. Mind should have that type of purity, and that comes because if mind becomes involved with devotion to God, that devotional movement brings the mind to a magical change. Mind becomes like crystal. This is a progressive movement, which means you hear people with their different complaints. You give advice to them and you feel exactly like them with deep communion. But once you have moved away, you are not affected by all the problems that you have handled. That's something to be understood. Even in the practical world, think of a doctor who listens to the problems of a patient, all the details, and sympathizes with all the details. But when he has finished his job with one patient, he goes to another one. The another patient has overcome those problems. And he is enjoying his joy, sharing with the doctor. So doctor, this was like this, but now I can jump. The mind of the doctor, the expert doctor, goes on communing with different people in different stages of their diseases and does not remain affected. If it gets affected, you are not a good doctor. Enlightened mind is that type of mind. A heart that understands everyone, understand in a proper way. In other words, just like a mother is ready to understand babies, enlightened heart is ready to understand all because there is no difference. All are one. But at the same time, it remains untouched. Ready to understand, to help others to dissolve their problems. Nothing else. Let your mind be like a crystal that reflects the moods and objects of the world, but maintain the awareness of your essential nature. Remain detached from these reflections. It's just like saying, the sky goes on inviting all the clouds, but at the same time remains untouched by them. Similarly, allow all the reflections to go on operating, but remain untouched by them. Consciousness in you is that untouched foundation. All things you experience are reflecting in your consciousness. Just like the whole dream world exists, reflects in your consciousness. The entire world experience reflects in your consciousness. It's not a reality. Consciousness is the reality all the time. No matter what reflects, the reality is the consciousness. In the next section, the qualities that characterize self-realization. And that's for the future. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.